As many experts feared, habang busy ang mundo in terms of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, China, which has more or less contained the crisis at home, will begin to assert its interests and its ambitions across the world. And one area under focus has been Hong Kong. Alam natin, last year alone there were huge protests, hundreds of thousands of people attending protests calling for more autonomy and democratic freedom in Hong Kong. So mukhang ang solution ng China to the problem in Hong Kong is to cut the Gordian knot. The National People's Congress of China, this is based in Beijing, has recently passed draconian national security laws. And many experts fear that yung mga new national security laws na galing sa China will effectively end the autonomy and distinct nature and character of Hong Kong. The law was passed almost unanimously by the National People's Congress, with few abstentions and only one person opposing that. Following the passing of these new laws, Wang Chen, a top official in China, announced that these laws will very much focus on going against threats against the integrity of China. Now, the final contents of these new national security laws are yet to be divulged, but more or less we know what they're going to look like. So one big concern is that mainland China's Ministry of Public and State Security will be able to establish offices and activities, including spying activities and security activities in Hong Kong mismo. Now, according to Carrie Lam, the chief executive of Hong Kong, the Hong Kong police still will be carrying out primarily the law enforcement activities, but mukhang mainland interior security officials or spies could eventually have more and more aggressive role in shaping the crackdown on any kind of dissent against mainland China in Hong Kong. And one big concern is how do these new laws, itong mga national security laws na pinasa sa China, how do they define words like terrorism or sedition? Now ngayon, anong implications nito for the world and for the Philippines? After all, Hong Kong is a major financial center of Asia and the world. Of course, mahalaga ang Hong Kong para sa atin sa Pilipinas because you have at least 210,000 OFWs and Filipinos residing and working in Hong Kong. Not to mention 32,000 more in neighboring Macau. And there are expected to be more and more protests in Hong Kong against these new national security laws. And that could create a lot of violence, a lot of trouble, and that's going to also raise concern about the safety of our OFWs. And not to mention, any kind of political chaos in Hong Kong could also affect the economy of the country and by extension affect the employment opportunities and the employment conditions for the OFWs in Hong Kong. Kaya meron din tayo stake dito sa Pilipinas in terms of the political and economic stability in Hong Kong because hundreds of thousands of Filipinos are residing and working there. In fact, dahil nga sa COVID-19, maraming Pilipino are being forced na bumalik sa Pilipinas dahil their employees cannot afford them anymore or the employees have moved out to other places. And that situation can get way worse if Hong Kong goes for a full-scale revolt and uprising in the coming months and years. And even worse, there are fears that there could be a Tiananmen-like situation in Hong Kong if things get very, very violent. The second reason why mahalaga yung situation sa Hong Kong for us is that we have huge economic relationship with Hong Kong. First of all, bilateral trade surpassed almost $13 billion in 2017 pa. Of course, lumaki ito over the years. And wag natin kalimutan, Hong Kong is actually a gateway to capital and investment from mainland China. So sa ilalim ni Pangulong Duterte, we have become more and more dependent on investments from China and a lot of that goes through Hong Kong. Ayon sa US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, because of these new national security laws, baka Hong Kong will lose a lot of its privileges and there could be even economic sanctions. After all, he's contending that Hong Kong is effectively not going to be autonomous anymore but be part of mainland China with these new laws. And lastly, the third factor, we are an ally of the United States still, even if na-abrogating visiting forces agreement. At the same time, we want to have a good relationship with China. Ang problema ngayon is pwede maipit ang Pilipinas if ever there could be conflicts between United States and China. At nakita natin over the past few months, nakakatakot yung situation in the West Philippine Sea and South China Sea. So the Hong Kong crisis actually could push the two superpowers to be more adventurous and aggressive also in international waters. Geographically malapit tayo and geopolitically pwede tayo maipit sa pagitan ng dalawang superpowers na yan. That's why we should hope and we should push for a peaceful resolution of the Hong Kong situation. Ako po si Richard Hidayan. Stand with us. Stand for truth.